Hi, this is Matt at State of Flux, coming at you with a review roundup of 4 movies that I missed in their theatrical run that I really wanted to see, and I just got a chance to catch all of them on streaming. So, let's kick it off in the order with which I watched them. First up is Smile. Smile is essentially Jump Scare the movie, and this movie really is effective if you like jump scares. In fact, whenever jump scares are my favorite kind of scare because they always work on me. However, they have the least lasting effect, and I understand that they are the cheapest kind of scare and don't really evoke any genuine horror. But you know what it does? It always leaves me with a smile on my face because you got me. And guess what? This movie got me a lot, leaving me with a smile on my face, which, as I started thinking about, was kind of genius. Because the whole base premise of the film is that the horror comes from the smile, and I'm sitting there staring at the screen, smiling, and if the light caught it just right with how dark that TV screen was, I could see my own reflection smiling back at myself on the screen, which was completely unintentional by the filmmaker, but added that extra creepy vibe to the film. This was a really good horror film just in general. I thought it really worked. Even though it does really capitalize on those jump scares, it was still pretty effective nonetheless. However, much like most horror films, they kind of shit the bed in the last 5 minutes, and this film kind of does as well. But if you were able to find the point with which it stops being good in those last 5 minutes, you're in for a really good treat. And the lead actress is really good. She sells it, she nails it, and props to her. I hope to see her become a really strong actress moving forward in a lot of other different films. Also, it's got Kyle Gallner. Who doesn't love a good Kyle Gallner? He's a scream king, if you will. Alright, moving on to the next film is The Swimmers. This one I caught on Netflix, and I think this is the only one that I hadn't heard of going into it, but I loved this movie. This is a really good film. It's about 2 Syrian refugees who find themselves swimming across the sea, but these young women, they're 17 years old or so, have dreams of becoming Olympian swimmers, and watching their journey is just very powerful. And they cast 2 real-life sisters to play the role, and they're so believable in their dynamic and whatnot, and how they bounce off each other and talk to each other. And the film is light, but it's powerful, it's hard-hitting, it's grim, it's kind of everything you need from sort of one of those formative coming-of-age stories, presented to you incredibly authentically with 2 powerhouse performances from these young actresses. Check this film out. It's on Netflix. It is such a good movie. You will have a good time with it. Moving on to Violent Night. This is definitely going to be making my Christmas rotation. I'd heard a lot of people compare it to Die Hard and Home Alone, and yeah, I guess I would too. Those films are very intentionally referenced within this movie, sometimes by name, but other times by just plot points and whatnot. But what this gives us is one of the best Scream Santas that we've had in recent years, and we've had a lot of pretty good and offbeat choices for Santa in the past couple of years, with Kurt Russell doing his stuff from the Christmas Chronicle movies. And I think David Harbour is a good addition to that. When he is supposed to be mean, angry, barbarian Santa, he is a visceral threat, and he is awesome and fantastic, but he never loses that little bit of humanity that he has about him. And in the moments that he shares, particularly with the children, he has a warmth and an honesty and a truthfulness that is a virtue of goodness that kind of radiates from him. I don't know if there's another actor that could have pulled off that those 2 elements so perfectly as he does, but I'm really genuinely excited to watch this again at Christmas time at the proper season and immerse myself in all the Christmas glory. It's a good looking movie too. It's well lit, and you got lots of reds and yellows and blues and greens, which really evoke the time period, and I think that will also help with its rewatches. Plus, Evil John Leguizamo is always fantastic, and it's got Beverly D'Angelo. She's Christmas royalty because of Christmas Vacation, so I'm excited to revisit this one in a few months' time. Moving on to the last movie of the bunch that I watched is M3GAN, another sleeper surprise hit of the horror season. Along with Smile, both of these films had long legs at the box office and were box office surprises and to some extent smashes for the genre. And M3GAN was one that was criticized for being PG-13. I happened to catch it on Peacock, where it is presented in its unrated capacity, and its unrated version goes pretty hard. It's not like something similar to Drag Me to Hell, where it was a PG-13 and you watch the unrated cut and it's literally just one scene of extra cat gore or something like that. This movie kind of goes hard when the killing happens. This film is essentially just a reinterpretation of the Child's Play remake from 2019, a film that I was softer on than most people who despise that movie for whatever reason. I do feel like this is a better version of that same movie because M3GAN is a more compelling villain, and I really like the Allison Williams of it all, and the young girl in this film is fantastic. Her name slips my mind, but I've seen her in a couple of other things. She is a talented, up-and-coming young actress that I think we're going to see a lot of in the near soon. But as I was watching the film, the moment that I fell in love was when M3GAN kills the fuck out of that kid in the woods. It's a particularly brutal scene, and as she chases after the kid, I was thinking to myself, who doesn't idly want a best friend that chases people through the woods like a cougar? I think that's something we all share. So we all want more M3GAN, and I'm curious to see what M3GAN 2.0, or whatever they're going to call it, comes to fruition in the next couple of years, because I'm sure she's going to be our generation's Chucky that just doesn't ever really die. And I look forward to it, and I think we're going to, because people responded well to the, cougar running, to the cool dance that she does, I feel like we're going to get a little more unleashed version of M3GAN in the second one that could be really fun. So that's my roundup of all these movies. Every one of these movies, sans The Swimmers and Violent Night, so I guess two of these movies. The two horror films, straight up, get 3 out of 4 stars. They are fun, good horror movies. These two get 3.5 out of 4 stars. Check them out. Smile's on Amazon Prime, The Swimmers on Netflix, and these two, Violent Night and M3GAN, on Peacock. Let me know what you thought of these 4 films in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.